So before we get started, I will say that I normally work this program. Maybe that's why they told Maz to get the hell out of here tonight. It's McCarthy in for Maz. Because it is the annual Who's Your Caddy Classic that Maz puts on today at Brook Meadow Country Club. Normally I'm working it because these guys are playing in it, but Celtics game 2 last night, they decided to do a double dip. What an unbelievable event, raising thousands upon thousands of dollars for the pediatric advanced care team at Children's Hospital in Boston. Just a tip of the cap to Maz for putting on a great event, to everybody here at the station, Kelly Anderson, everybody at 98.5 The Sports Hub for putting on a great event. Even though Murray and I did not hit the ball the way we wanted to, it was still a great time. So a tip of the cap.
I think I'm going to quit golf after today. I swear to God.
I'm kind of right there with you. You may or may not see footage of me tomorrow. I know Beetle got some footage of me, and I'm trying to pay off people at NBC Sports Boston to not put it out there. It was not good, Jim. You think I could handle that? You think I can handle the pressure of, hey, we're going to film this for TV? Oh, God. Just holding the club there. Topped it. Of course I did. Never happened, though. Nope. $200, $300. The price keeps going up, Josh Fowler. Footage is not getting out there. Anyway, it's Matt McCarthy in on the Baseball Hour tonight. I know, Maz, it's a common refrain says, this is your chance to talk baseball. It is. Obviously, Celtics in the middle of the finals. I will tell you that Wednesday and Friday night, there will be no Baseball Hour this week. We're doing a Celtics hour and a half, Celtics 2 hours, leading into games 3 and 4 of the NBA Finals. So limited opportunities to talk baseball this week. And I do think there's a lot to get into. I think there's a lot to get into with this weekend series with the White Sox. If you watched it, there was some good stuff there. Obviously, not so great that the Red Sox split a series with the worst team in baseball. But I do want to start with what happened this weekend, not in Chicago, but in Boston. Because I was reminded this weekend that Boston loves baseball. And I think we need that reminder. You just need a reason to care. It can't just be loving baseball. You need a little bit more than that. Even I need a little bit more than that, and I think I love baseball more than most. I went to the Savannah Bananas at Fenway Park on Saturday night, and it was awesome. Jimmy, you're a baseball guy. It was awesome. I wish you got to go. It was great. You would have loved it. I had a smile on my face all night long. I went to a baseball game and smiled for 3 straight hours. I had so much fun. So much fun. And listen, the show's ridiculous. It's filled with stupid antics, and it's kind of a dance party with a baseball game surrounding it. I don't even like dancing. I think dancing's stupid. It generally does not amuse me. Not my scene. I loved it. I loved it. It was exactly what you would expect if you know anything about banana ball. I think the way to describe it, if you're not familiar, if you're not on TikTok, you're not on Instagram or social media, and you don't know anything about the Savannah Bananas, banana ball, they call it. It's kind of like the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball. And it delivered. It delivered. It was exactly what I thought it would be and more. I liked it even more than I thought I would. I loved it. And I was walking out of there. I'm like, why did I like this so much? I mean, because the quality of play, obviously, it's not major league quality play. I mean, in the end, it's a show. It's more of a show than a baseball game. And I'm walking out of there saying, man, I like this even more than I thought I was going to. Why? And the answer I came up with is that Fenway Park was electric. It's the loudest I've heard Fenway Park in 3 years.
It's electric.
Thank you. Thank you. It was electric. Get Coleman in there. We need more electricity in that ballpark. And it can't just be because the Savannah Bananas show up once a year to do their thing. I forgot what that felt like. And if you've been to Fenway at all in the last 3 years, you've probably forgotten what it feels like too. Because that place is a morgue. It's a morgue every single night. I mean, we talk about it. It's filled with opposing fans. It's basically a bar at this point. Nobody's there for the baseball because the product on the field is so uninspiring. And nobody cares. And I know you might be saying, okay, that's a sports talk radio thing. It's true. Nobody cares. And I don't say that to mock the Red Sox. I don't say that to pile on the grave. I say that with pain. I say that with legitimate pain. Nobody cares. And that sucks. That sucks. Because Fenway is still a great place to be when there's a product on the field that is worth your attention. And that's what you got Saturday night. I mean, there's no place I'd rather be when a good thing is going on than Fenway Park. I love baseball. That's my church. It is. And I love being surrounded by people who care about baseball, who like baseball, and want to be there when something exciting is going on. I eat that stuff up. I do. And I know deep down, most of you do too. You probably grew up a bigger Red Sox fan than you are now. You have probably been a bigger Red Sox fan at some point in your life than you are now, and it sucks that this is where we are. Because baseball is still great when it tries to be great. And don't get me wrong, it's not real baseball, but it's fun. It's entertaining. And we watch sports because we want to be entertained. And I was on Saturday night. I walked out of there feeling like I spent my time and money well. And I can't say that I felt that way about the Red Sox in a long time. I go to Fenway Park. I don't boycott the Red Sox. I know some of you do, but I still like going out on a beautiful summer night. You know, if you've got a good pitching matchup at Fenway and, you got Brian Bello, like last year, Brian Bello against Spencer Strider, I'm like, I'm there. Yeah, I know the Red Sox aren't great, but I'm there. It's a beautiful summer night, and you go there and you have a good time, whatever. But you don't walk out of there feeling like they're trying to do something for you, meaning the Red Sox. You don't walk out of there feeling like they're trying to give you a product that's actually worth your time. Unlike the Savannah Bananas, they're putting a guy out there on stilts, and he goes up and tries to hit a baseball. Like, again, it's not real baseball. It's silly. It's stupid. But you know what? They care. They care. They actually care. They treat you with respect as a paying customer. They know you're there for a show, and they try to put on a show. They bust their ass to put on a show. They try. Whether you liked it or you disliked it, they try. And when have the Red Sox done that for you lately? When? It's been years. It's been years. So I walked out of there with a smile on my face. I said that was fun. I enjoyed that. There were a lot of silly and stupid antics, but it was great. It was exactly what I expected. I was entertained. And I also walked out of there pissed off and disgusted at the Red Sox because I couldn't help but compare what I got at Fenway on Saturday compared to what the Red Sox have given me since 2018. They're not trying. They're not trying. We know they're not trying. The owner last week came out and admitted that they weren't trying. He said the quiet part out loud. He told you it's your fault. It's my fault. It's our fault. Because we're expecting them to try. We're expecting them to try to win. And instead he puts the odds in your face and basically tells you to go away. Like you're a nuisance. They're not trying. The Red Sox are not trying. And I deserve better as a Red Sox fan. I deserve better as a Boston baseball fan. You deserve better. We deserve better. And when you get a little taste of it, the way I did Saturday night, again, not in a real baseball setting, but in something just a little bit different, and you get what you deserve as a paying customer, as a fan, as somebody who shows up to Fenway Park for something, it's a reminder of all that the Red Sox have not given you over the last 6 years. We deserve better. I can't stress that enough. We deserve better. Jimmy Stewart, you love baseball. It pains me that you aren't getting what you deserve as a Red Sox fan. Every time I come in here, you and I have a conversation about baseball because we're fans. We enjoy it. And you deserve to sit down and watch a baseball team that's trying to give you something. And unfortunately, the only baseball team in Boston that's tried to give you something over the last 6 years has been the team with the guy on stilts, and they're lighting the ball on fire, and they're bringing Bill Lee out to pitch at the age of 77 to throw the eephus pitch. And they're bringing Pap out in a kilt. And they have Princess Potassia out there singing songs. That's the only team that's tried to give you anything. You deserve better.
Are they available to play for the Red Sox, Papelbon and Bill Lee?
Probably give you a little bit more than at least the Heim Bloom pitching staff could. I don't want to discredit Andrew Bailey, though. He's done a great job. There's no other way to say it.
Really? Then what? Never mind.
No. I mean, that would involve us talking about the Red Sox, Jimmy, which is probably a bad idea. Because I'll tell you what, when I start trying to talk about the Red Sox and the games, and I give out the phone number, I get that. Because nobody's watching.
Dude, that's my bit.
I stole it because it's a good bit. There's no other way to say it. I know, I get it. You must be tired about it. I mean, you must be tired of it because every single show, every single baseball hour, in some ways is like this. This is what this show has become. It's big picture discussion. It's complaining about ownership, complaining about the Red Sox, because it's all we can do. It's what we've been reduced to. This team has been 500 for the last 6 years, and they've become essentially unwatchable. The apathy is totally set in. It's setting in with me. When the Red Sox lost 2 out of 4 to the White Sox, normally I'd be pissed off. Whatever. Really, whatever. I get it. They're not trying. They're 500. They're going to be 500 forever. I just need them to finish with 80 wins so the under hits. Like, that's it.
Same.
Nobody's watching with the games. Or nobody's watching the games. They're not engaging with them, and that sucks. It sucks. It upsets me as a Red Sox fan because I wish I could come in here and talk about the game. I wish that I could come in here and break down decision-making in yesterday's Red Sox game. I wish I could talk about Saturday's game and Brian Bello and, the fact that he got frustrated and gave up a home run. Like, I wish I could do the whole show on that. I want to talk strategy. I want to talk why the manager put this play on in this count and why you did this and why you did that and why this was a good move, and why it was a mistake.
And how Andrew Bailey has failed Brian Bello because he's taken a step back in his development.
I'm not quite sure it's Andrew Bailey.
Oh.
I have a take on that a little bit later on in the program. I do, on Brian Bello. But I wish I could do a little bit more talking about actual baseball. And instead, I guarantee you, I could talk more about the Savannah Bananas game with the guy on stilts and the baby races that I saw Saturday night than I could about the Red Sox game Saturday night. And that sucks. By the way, the baby race was amazing. I haven't heard Fenway Park pop like that in years. When that baby, if you were there, if you were one of the 37,000 strong, when that baby crossed that finish line in the middle of one of those innings, the place went wild. Oh, it was awesome.
Went bananas?
It did go bananas, as some would say. I couldn't help but think of Joe Murray, who famously once told me, McCarthy, you always bet on the fat baby. Oh, Jimmy, you're laughing? No, it's true. Joe has bet on baby races.
I'm the fat guy. Of course I'm laughing. I'm the lava lamp.
And Joe has a theory, is that in baby races, the baby is generally going to mama. And the babies were going to mama, crawling to mama. And the baby knows where it gets fed. So you always, in a baby race, this according to Joe Murray, 7 to 11 tonight, you can call him and ask him about it. He always says, when you're betting on baby races, because yes, Joe bets on baby races, that's what you do. You always bet on the fat baby. And the fat baby won. It was awesome. It was great. Thank you to the Savannah Bananas for reminding me that Fenway can be fun. For showing me that kids can love baseball. And by the way, they do. The amount of kids I saw in Savannah Bananas jerseys, and they know the players and all that. I mean, I haven't seen a single kid in a Rafael Devers jersey. And I don't know the players because I'm not on TikTok, but the kids love these Savannah Bananas players. They're legitimate stars to them. Bigger stars than anybody on the Red Sox. So thanks for reminding me that kids can love baseball or something close to it. And thanks for treating me as the paying customer with the respect that I deserve. Because they did that this weekend. If you were one of the 37,000 fans there, they treated you with respect. They tried to give you a show, and I thought they did. Maybe you didn't think so, but at least they tried. Unlike the Red Sox. Let me know when the Red Sox care again. Let me know. Because it's obvious that they don't. They could take a lesson from the Savannah Bananas. The team with the guy on stilts trying to hit a baseball is trying more than the Boston Red Sox. How disgusting is that? 617-779-0985. We continue here on the Baseball Hour. It's McCarthy in for Maz.
This is the
those things you just said are true. Yep,
Scrappy little win.
It was by 2024 Red Sox standards, yes. And again, this is what we've been reduced to, which is why we're going to spend more of the program probably talking about the Savannah Bananas than the Boston Red Sox. But yeah, it was a scrappy little win for the Red Sox yesterday. Kenley Jansen went 2 innings, went 6 outs for the first time in 3 years, which, interesting enough, was the last time that Fenway Park was loud. It was just, unfortunately, for a baby race this time. And
he's obviously trying to play well so they can trade him, because right now he has no value to be traded.
I would trade his ass in a second. Yes, I would.
But he wants him.
He's been all right. He's been pretty good. I would trade him. I would trade him for whatever you can get. Bag of balls. I would trade him for the Instagram, the TikTok shortstop, or whoever plays for the Party Animals. At least you can get somebody to come in and watch the Red Sox play.
I'd trade him for Bill Lee to come out of retirement and Papelbon to close games.
Loved watching Bill Lee the other night. Still looking good. And command wasn't where it normally is for Bill.
Neither is Jansen's.
At
least I can trust Bill Lee in a big game.
Well, I mean, I don't know, 1975 Game 7, I don't know. But yeah, no, certainly more trustworthy than Jansen. I'll give you that. So yeah, if you want to talk about the Red Sox this weekend, and again, what I would call a scrappy little win over the worst team in baseball, please have at it at 617-779-0985. Hey, you want to talk Red Sox? No, didn't think so. You do want to talk about the Bananas, though. John in Lunenburg. Hey, John.
How's it going, Matt?
What's up?
So I was at the game, and my wife was saying to me, how come Red Sox games can't be this fun or this packed? That was the first time we've been to Fenway in like a year and a half, because the Sox are just horrible. And the baby race, I thought that little boy was going to make it, but the little girl ended up winning. But one thing before I go is, when we lived in Pennsylvania, we used to go to the Camden Yards all the time to see Red Sox, and the Orioles knew they sucked, but their games were still fun, and you didn't have to pay an arm and a leg like you do at Fenway. So I don't know. It's like injury to insult.
Yeah, I mean, John, they ask too much of you. They don't put a good product on the field. They charge you the highest ticket prices in baseball. It's like John Henry coming out last week and saying, oh, well, the odds are really 1 out of 20 or 1 out of 30. Yeah, way to slap your fans in the face a little bit more. Well, hey, John, if the odds are so bad and you're not really going to try to win, lower the ticket prices. So at least you get what you're paying for. What you said about, the Bananas game over the weekend, you got what you paid for. Now, you can say, well, why can't Red Sox games be this fun? It's a different type of product, right? If you're going to call in and say the Red Sox should be more like the Savannah Bananas, no, I disagree with that. The Red Sox have, Major League Baseball, it's the best players on earth. Problem is the Red Sox don't have enough of those best players on earth. Savannah Bananas are a bunch of guys out there doing tricks and dancing and lighting the bat on fire, and, you bring the mascot out and you have him lie down in center field and you jump over him. Like, it's stuff like that because they don't have the best players in the world. But the Red Sox should have the best players in the world, and that should be the draw. And they're trying to make baseball more appealing. They have made baseball more appealing in the last few years with the rule changes. The games are faster. Like, there are reasons to come back to baseball, but there are no reasons to come back to the Red Sox because they don't give a damn. They don't give a damn. And they don't give a damn about you. That's the thing. They don't care about you. At least the team that put on the baby race, and a lot of things with babies, they did a kind of a Simba cam. They picked up another baby, and the players gathered around it, and they emerged, and they held him up like Simba. Because it's a show. It's a performance. It's not the best players on earth, which the Red Sox don't have either. But they'll charge you like they have the best players on earth. The expectation, they ask too much of you. They ask way too much of you. And that's why you've pushed away from the table, and you're not watching, and you're not engaging, because they're not worth your time, effort, and energy as a fan. And that game I went to this Saturday was worth my time, was worth my effort, was worth my money. It's a different type of product, but it was worth it. And I didn't feel like a sucker for participating in it. Unlike going to a Red Sox game sometimes, or watching a Red Sox game and knowing that they're not trying and knowing that they don't care and knowing that the owner doesn't give a damn and they're just an asset and there's no emotion in it and they're just sucking you dry, taking you for all you're worth. That's what the Red Sox are doing to you right now, and I didn't get that this weekend. Justin in Shrewsbury. Hey, Justin.
Hey, Matt. Thanks for taking my call.
No problem.
So, I mean, the Red Sox ownership, right, like, they can go back and they can look and see, like, oh, we still got good attendance, like, ticket sales are still, what their ex people still paying for them. But, like, kind of to your point, like, no one cares when they go to the games. Like, it's a bar. Like, people just go there just for the vibes and the fun and, to take pictures and post stuff on Instagram. Like, oh, I was at Fenway last night. Oh, I couldn't tell you anything about what happened in the game. I know I had 5 beers and I hung out with my friends. Like, the people that, go there and just still, like, stand up and sing Sweet Caroline after they just blew a lead is, not the type of fan that you want at the Red Sox game. Like, you can treat that crap like a business when you own some of these small market teams, but the Red Sox are a blue chip franchise in all sports, and they don't act like it. And if people don't stop going to Fenway, I know it's mostly, a tourist attraction and a lot of the visiting teams come, but, like, we're not going to kind of flat back at ownership and they're still just going to be like, oh, well, we're good. We still have people coming. We don't have to try. Like, we're good with how we are. So
yeah, that's the problem. The business model, it works for them. It's a bar, it's a tourist attraction, and they can make enough money to fund their other assets. That's it. And I feel helpless as a fan because there's nothing you can do. The real fans, the people who care, there's nothing you can do. And they're just going to take advantage of you. Sam Kennedy keeps using the term, the Red Sox, we're the stewards. We're the stewards of the Red Sox. The Red Sox are a public trust. Like they belong to us. And in some ways, like it's a nice sentiment and all, but I mean, it is true. I mean, the Red Sox are an institution. And the problem is, the stewards don't give a damn. Sam Kennedy will tell you, he'll be the first to tell you about how John Henry and Tom Warner have been, great stewards of the public trust that is the Boston Red Sox. Well, not anymore. Not anymore. 617-779-0985. How about Gary in Rhode Island? Hey, Gary.
Hi. I just want to let you know, I used to go 20 times a year to go see the Fenway and Red Sox. It didn't matter what team. I enjoyed it. And I can't get into it anymore. So what I've been doing is following the Royals, the Orioles, and Philadelphia Phillies. That is baseball. I wish I could go to see the Phillies this week to play the Red Sox.
Me too. I don't think I can get there this week, and I'm bummed that I can't watch the Phillies, who are a fun, entertaining baseball team. If the Phillies were here right now, if this were the Phillies roster was the Red Sox, we wouldn't be talking about this. We'd be breaking every game down because everybody would be watching and they'd be interested because the Phillies are good. How about that Bobby Witt Jr. on the Royals? He's awesome, man. He's great. I had Red Sox fans telling me last year they wouldn't want to trade Marcelo Meyer for him. Not that the Red Sox would have done that in the first place, but I don't know. Watch that guy again.
Bobby Witt Jr. wanted to play here.
Only problem is the Red Sox don't want him here because he would eventually cost money.
Bryce Harper wanted to be a Boston Red Sox.
Yep. He cost you $300 million. That doesn't fit John Henry's business model.
Would you rather have him or Rafael Devers?
Harper. I'd rather have Harper. Not trying to criticize Devers or whatever, but I'd rather have Harper. I mean, Harper's been a better player. It's pretty simple.
Might have been able to have both.
Yeah, well, that involves, Jimmy, that involves spending money, and that involves caring, and that involves having some emotion about the whole thing, which I'm still trying to have as a fan, and it becomes harder every single day. It becomes harder to be a Red Sox fan every single day. And then when you show up at the Savannah Bananas game the other night, you're reminded, you know what? I really do like baseball. I do love this. I love coming to Fenway Park. I love having 37,000 people get excited about something. It's just a baby race this time instead of the actual baseball team. And I want it to be the Red Sox. 617-779-0985. I do need to get to a thought on Brian Bello as well from the weekend, because I do have some concerns about him that are starting to pop up for me. Jimmy Stewart thinks it's Andrew Bailey's fault. I'm going to tell you why it's not Andrew Bailey's fault. When we come back, we'll do more of your thoughts on the bananas. Everybody wants to talk bananas. Go banana. You get your filling with cash.
What's up, headlines?
2 for 2.
He hits it out to right, a grand slam. Gavin Sheets, my man. He blows it open here in the 5th inning, clearing the bases as the Sox take a 5-1 lead in the 5th.
First career grand slam, and you might as well make it a no-doubter.
And Bello, if you were watching on Saturday, he's having a good outing, 5th inning, and then the wheels start to fall off a little bit, runs into some adversity. Red Sox with a 1-0 lead, and there are 2 outs in the inning. And there's a little dribbler back up the middle, if you weren't watching. A little dribbler back up the middle, and it's just one of those infield singles. It finds a space where a guy isn't, and it's weakly hit, and a run scores, and the game's tied, and it's just one of those. That, whatever. What are you going to do? Bad moment. Guy got it off the end of the bat, and it's just find some open grass, and there's no play. And then Brian Bello reacted in a way that made me say, uh-oh, this isn't good. And I turned to the person I was next to. I said, something bad's about to happen here. Bello threw his arms up in the air, kind of leaned back. It was a little lackey-like. It wasn't quite, why didn't you make that play? But you could tell he immediately was frustrated, and you could tell he lost focus, and he gave up that grand slam. And now you sit here and you look at Brian Bello's stats this year, and he's got an ERA approaching 5. This guy's supposed to be the future of your starting rotation. He's supposed to be one of the futures of your franchise, and he looks anything but that. He has not been good, and he's been uneven. And frankly, he's been uneven in his career. He was outstanding for a stretch last summer where it makes you say, okay, this is tantalizing stuff. He could be a front of the rotation guy. They've got something here, and it's really been anything but that since. And I watched Saturday, and I said, I don't know if this guy has it between the years. I just don't. Because you see him, if you watch him closely, when he runs into adversity, he struggles. He can't bounce back. And baseball and sports and life, whatever it is, you're going to encounter adversity. It's about how you respond to adversity. So in this case, on Saturday, this little dribbler up the middle that nobody could make a play on, and a run scores and the inning continues instead of the inning being over, makes a good pitch and it doesn't work out for him. That was his form of adversity. Instead of buckling down, saying, it's baseball, what are you going to do? I made a good pitch, tip your cap, whatever, bad luck, got screwed, what have you. Instead of doing that and buckling down and getting the next guy, he grooves a pitch to Gavin Sheets, and he loses it, and it's 5-1. Game over. Start over. Outing over. See you later. You've got an ERA approaching 5. It's a problem. We keep hearing about the work he does with Pedro Martinez. He doesn't have anywhere near Pedro's mentality. Doesn't have the stuff. I mean, he's got good stuff. Bello is good stuff. He's a sinker baller. I like Brian Bello, the pitcher. There's a lot to like. There is. There's a lot of potential there. I don't quite know if it's ace potential, but I think it's bona fide number 2 potential. That's who I think he can be. But I don't know if he has it above the shoulders. Start paying a little bit more attention to Bello. Watch how he responds when things don't go his way in the game. It snowballs on him. And you can't be an ace if it snowballs on you. It's something he's going to have to learn. I'm going to tell you right now, this is not some hot take. This is just reality. This is just the way baseball works. If he can't figure out how to respond to adversity, he will not fulfill his potential. And there's a lot of potential there. And there's a lot to like there. But if he can't figure out how to do that, he's not going to put it together. Your thoughts if you watched Bello this weekend or on the White Sox series, 617-779-0985. Jimmy Stewart, you seem to think that Brian Bello's performance this year is Andrew Bailey's fault. You want to blame Andrew Bailey, which, by the way, is blasphemous, if you ask me, but you want to blame Andrew Bailey?
I think that ever since the excuse was, let me back up. I'll start from Genesis here.
Okay, sure.
So the Atlanta Braves came into Fenway Park July 26th, and we're like, oh my God, it's Bello's first outing in a big matchup. Like, people are pumped and hyped for it. He pitched well, 6 innings, 3 runs, very well. The rest of the season, over 5 ERA. Like, oh, he's fatigued, he's tired. Most innings he's ever pitched, all the excuses come. So now we get to this season. Andrew Bailey, the pitching magician,
Pitching God.
pitching god to some people.
You call him by his name, Jimmy Stewart. God himself, pitching God himself, the pitching deity.
He must be a really low god on the totem pole because
That man isn't.
Bello's ERA got down and now it's back up. So what are we doing? Like, is he not pitching backwards properly? Is he not adapting to the game plan? And I say this because Pedro Martinez, who works with him apparently, or did work with him at least in spring training a couple times, Pedro Martinez at age 25, which is what Bello is now, won the Cy Young. Pedro had it figured out at age 25. And with all the hype around this kid, that's what I was kind of expecting. And his ERA since that Atlanta Braves start is over 5.
That Brave start last year was awesome. It was great. And he went up against Spencer Strider, and it was a great night. It was one of the best nights of the year. And you're right, he hasn't quite been the same since.
That was the teaser moment for us. Okay, this guy is going to be Pedro.
It's tantalizing.
And I see now, like, he's not Pedro. He's not even close.
But he's not. He's not Pedro. And I think we have overrated him a little bit. All right. I do not think he's an ace. I don't think he has ace stuff. But I think he's a number 2. And that's nothing to sneeze at. Like, we can have an argument about whether he's a number 1 or a number 2. He should be a really good pitcher. A really, really good pitcher. He has that type of stuff. But he doesn't have the mentality. He doesn't know what to do. Why was Pedro...
Isn't that why Andrew Bailey's here then? Is to give him the IQ to figure it out. And he needs help from his catcher. The pitching coach, Cora, whether he's still invested or not, although he got tossed from the game, so maybe he kind of is. There are elements here that should be helping the player adapt and take that next step, and we're not seeing it.
So is that on Andrew Bailey or is that on Brian Bello? And I would say
Bailey's the pitching coach. He's the Greek god of pitching, I guess,
right.
Or whatever he is.
You're right, actually. I'm going to have to come up with a Greek name for him, put him up on Mount Olympus. Yes, he is a god. I look at what he's done with Tanner Houck. I look at what he's done with Cutter Crawford. Hasn't pitched all that well as of late, but has certainly outperformed who Cutter Crawford actually is. Like, he has molded Tanner Houck into a towards the top of the rotation type of guy, and I don't think he's that. So he's helped him figure out his potential.
Isn't that more of him just undoing damage that had been done?
So, I mean, there's part of that, right? I mean, the Red Sox had damaged Houck over the course of many years in the major leagues and minor leagues across 2 general managers, multiple pitching coaches. There's no doubt about that. So, yes, it's worked for Houck. It has not worked for Bello. Listen, if we're going to have an honest discussion about this instead of a sports radio discussion where you take one side, I take one side, does Bailey have a little something to do with it? Yeah, you want him to get more out of Brian Bello. I'm just telling you, there's something between the ears with this kid. There is. And I don't know. That's not entirely on the pitching coach. It's eventually on Brian Bello to figure it out, to figure out how to deal with adversity. Last year, to figure out how to show up on time, right? He couldn't pitch in day games last year. For what reason? Again, is it between the ears? Is it you're not showing up on time? You're not doing the right things to prepare yourself? You name it. There's something with him that's holding him back. And you say Pedro won his first Cy Young at 25. Pedro had way better stuff than Brian Bello. But the most underappreciated thing I think we don't talk about enough with Pedro is he knew how to pitch. Pedro was as cerebral on the mound as you get. So at 25, Pedro was mature enough to know how to put his stuff together. Bello has good stuff. He doesn't have Pedro stuff, but he has good stuff. He has, again, I think number 2 stuff. But he doesn't have the mind right now, the maturity right now, the ability to deal with adversity right now to put that all together. And eventually, that's on the player to figure out. They're going to have to help him out with it, but he hasn't figured it out yet. Go back and watch that 5th inning on Saturday, and you'll know what I'm talking about. He can't handle it. And he'll never reach his potential if he doesn't figure out how to handle it. And that's not on Andrew Bailey or anybody else. That's on Brian Bello. 617-779-0985. Phones, I see you. We'll take care of you as we wrap up the baseball hour next. It's McCarthy in from Mass.
Stay tuned for more of the Baseball Hour.
on their hard work with the Who's Your Caddy Classic today, raising thousands of dollars for Children's Hospital. Great golf tournament that Maz puts on. So I have me tonight, McCarthy. Let's go to Rajib in California. How you doing, man?
Hey, good. I completely agree with what you're saying about the Red Sox and the whole Savannah Bananas thing. They were just out here in California a couple weeks ago, and they sold out 3 shows in a row. So I've never gotten a chance to see them. But, I grew up as a person that was never into baseball. And then around the time that we got Pedro and, we had Big Papi, and the whole time, the product on the field was really good, and it encouraged us to watch. I was work with somebody that was from Germany, never watched baseball, but during that time, we would find ourselves, like, away games, like, hey, what's going on? What's the score? It's all about the product on the field. And I feel like past few years, the product on the field has been awful, and so the average fan has stopped paying attention, as you were saying, so whereas like the Savannah Bananas, they put on a product that everybody wants to see, regardless of the fact that they're doing something different. It makes it enjoyable. And if fans are going to spend a lot of money to go to watch the game at the park or even go to bars and watch it, right? I mean, you probably have a lot of local businesses that, the team's not that good, so why am I going to bother going out to watch a team that sucks?
Rajib, I mean, I can't go to a bar right now and get the Red Sox game. Sometimes you have to ask the bartender to turn the Red Sox game on. Have you had this experience, Jimmy? You're out to dinner or whatever, and the Red Sox game is on, but it's not on at the bar?
Yeah, they'd rather play like AMC.
That never would have happened 20 years ago. And it breaks my heart as a Red Sox fan. It really does. I mean, it sucks. And you're right. Fans want to be, human beings want to be a part of something bigger than themselves. They want to be a part of something exciting. And they want to be a part of something cool. And that can happen in a million different ways. Because the argument you can make, you can say, McCarthy, the people that were there to watch the Savannah Bananas don't want to watch baseball. I can hear that argument right now. They're there because they want to watch them dance around and do their thing, but they don't want to watch baseball. You're never going to get those people to watch baseball because baseball's boring, and they're there to watch it because it's not baseball. To which I would say, maybe that exists for some people. Maybe some people just don't want to watch baseball because they don't care about baseball, but that's fine. Some people, it's like what Felger says about licorice. Some people don't like licorice, but the people who like licorice really like licorice, or something along those lines, as I paraphrase. Yeah, some people don't want to watch baseball. That's fine. But there are a lot of people who do. I know there are people in this town who want to watch more baseball, who would like to watch more baseball, who would be excited if the Red Sox were good again, and the Red Sox were giving you something worthwhile. And they're just not. So maybe you get it with the Savannah Bananas and their baby races and the guy on stilts. But you could get it with the Red Sox too, if they offered you the best baseball players on planet Earth, because that's cool too. That's fun. You'll get it with the Phillies this week. Phillies in town. Phillies, Yankees. Big week. You want to watch good baseball? You can watch the Phillies. God, I love watching that team. I just tried to bet them on the run line. It's not active. Can't wait to do that. Zach Wheeler on the mound tomorrow. Bet the Phillies tomorrow against Cutter Crawford. They're going to eat him alive. Jimmy Stewart, thanks a lot. Ryan Beaton, good work today. Joe Murray is up next. He'll be breaking down that baby race at the Savannah Bananas game like you wouldn't believe. And also doing a lot of Celtics, too. I'm Matt McCarthy in for Maz. Have a great night. See ya.
From the Town Fair Tire Studios, the road to Banner 18. This is the flagship station of the Boston Celtics.
The Boston Celtics swarm the floor.
WBZFM and HD Boston 98.5, the Sports Hub. Leslie Media Group Station. Sports Hub headlines.
Now looking ahead to Game 3 of the NBA Finals set for Wednesday night after the Celtics picked up a 105-98 win over the Mavericks to take a 2-0 series lead last night. Drew Holiday, the star in that one. Dan Hurley choosing to stay at UConn. He has turned down the Lakers' offer. 6 years, $70 million. He's going to try and chase a third straight national championship at UConn. Patriots held their first official day of minicamp today. Once again, Drake May, the number 2 quarterback behind Jacoby Brissett. May going 12 for 16 in full team work. Patriots also releasing information on the upcoming Tom Brady Hall of Fame induction ceremony on Wednesday night. They are telling fans to be in their seats by 6:30. There will be an opening monologue from Bill Burr. Also, surprise guests and musical performances. More than 100 former teammates will show up for that one. Pittsburgh Steelers, meanwhile, signing head coach Mike Tomlin to a 3-year contract extension. Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Final set for tonight. Florida and